You're listening to the Business Hour in partnership with Network B2B.
You're listening to the Business Hour in partnership with Network B2B. You know, it's a wonderful Friday morning. I've had a wonderful walk along the sunny promenade at Scarborough to meet John Suddaby from J&amp Accountants, who are celebrating their 4th year. What an amazing story.
Yeah. Good morning, Steve.
Morning, John. Yeah. So, 4th year then?
Yes, we're really proud. We started just over 3 years ago, and we have been just really thrilled and delighted at how the business has grown. We knew that we could offer a great service to the small businesses of Scarborough and the surrounding area. We're delighted that that our business has grown. Dominic and myself have really worked hard to give great customer service, and as a result we've grown from just being ourselves, Dominic and myself, to having 2 employees, and we're seeking to grow the business further, taking on more staff, and also hopefully soon, as to be moving premises too. So we're really excited about that.
Wonderful. It's great to hear a great business success story. I think it's absolutely awesome. So here we are, John. It's a glorious day in Scarborough, and we're going to be talking about this great topic. We've had GDPR that's been taking the headlines for God knows how long, and that's almost with us. But tell you what, we have got Making Tax Digital. Yes. I'll say it's looming on the horizon. It may seem a long way off at the moment, but time passes, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
So, John, we were talking earlier, and things have changed around Making Tax Digital from what the government's plans first were, I gather.
That's right. It was first mooted in the spring 2015 budget. And I'm sure you'll remember all the headlines in the papers that Revenue and Customs wanted to abolish the tax return, and we had lots of people phoning us and saying, we're going to have to do everything quarterly, and they were panicking, and the government had really got big plans to make sure that everything gets, in this current society, that everything gets digitised. And I agree with them, it is a great aim to go for, but as per usual, it was a very big aim that needed to be made into smaller bits. And after a couple of years of big plans, the big plans were for April 18. Some people remember the deadline of April 2018. Businesses, landlords, individuals were all going to have to do quarterly reporting from April 2018. But guess what?
Guess what?
The election, the general election, and Brexit scuppered everything.
Right, okay. So here we go again. So it's all changed then.
All changed.
So what's going to happen now then, John?
Well, last year, after the election and the Brexit decision, HMRC had a rethink. And so last year, they announced that Making Tax Digital, or difficult as I sometimes say, has now been compartmentalised into just for VAT businesses, but it will come in April 2019. So this is where we are at the moment. VAT registered businesses over the 85,000 threshold will now have to get their records straight for April 2019. That's the deadline.
So that's a really significant change then.
It is, yeah.
And just what you say there, VAT registered over the threshold as well. Yeah. So VAT under, you don't have to worry too much at the moment. No.
But that is also, if you think about it, for the ones who are under the VAT threshold, they're also going to have to think about, are they going over the threshold, and what do they need to do to make sure that once they hit the VAT threshold that they are ready to comply with the Making Tax Digital.
Yeah, John, that's a really good point, because they could be sat there going, and then all of a sudden they get a great big order or something happens and it's like, whoops, you're over.
Yeah.
But you've not got any plans.
That's right.
Right. that sounds an absolute nightmare, that scenario.
Yeah. With the move to digitisation, what we're seeking to do is actually to make your business run better. So it is actually a great aim. What we need to see happening is that businesses are prepared for this, and they will get greater information for their businesses. It will mean making sure that they have the right software to submit the VAT return to HMRC, but also that will then mean that they're having to make sure that their accounts are up to date, their figures, and that will give them a greater control in their business. And I think that's a great place to be. For me, the problem as an accountant is sometimes you only used to see your clients once a year, but this time it could be 4 times a year, but they will have the information to hand and they'll be able to assess their business much better and make decisions on that.
I was just thinking that as you were saying, it's more going to be more proactive, aren't you?
Yeah, but having said that, a lot of people really don't like having to do the extra paperwork. They really don't like having to investigate software. They don't like having to do the additional burden of administration that this sort of thing does. And that's why we as accountants are gearing ourselves up for this massive changeover, to be ready to take on perhaps quarterly bookkeeping, to have the software that enables them to submit their VAT returns to Revenue and Customs, and to help them meet these deadlines that are coming in.
So, John, you mentioned one of the questions that I know people have mentioned to me when they've heard this word digital. Do they have to use something like a QuickBooks Zero or another package? Do they have to do that, or can they just put it on a spreadsheet?
Yeah, 2 things there. They do actually want people to use the standard software systems like QuickBooks Zero and Sage, because these are the kind of systems that will submit automatically to Revenue and Customs. What they're planning to do is they're planning to remove, currently what you can do is just submit the figures via an HMRC portal, but on your own business. They're actually going to take that away. They're still going to use the same box figures for VAT, but what they want to happen is for the figures to actually be derived from your bookkeeping, to drill back to your sales figures, your purchases figures. Although the figures you submit are just the boxes from the VAT return, the essential element behind this is it must drill back to your accounting records, to your sales invoices and to your purchase invoices. And a lot of people have said, but what about spreadsheets? And the main thing with spreadsheets is, yes, they say, as long as the figures that are submitted by the VAT return drill back to the figures from your spreadsheet on an acceptable digital format, they will accept it.
Right, okay. So another question that just comes to me, is that quite a challenge for accountants? Because do you need to be proficient in all those things then? QuickBooks and all that?
Yes, we do, yeah. And that's why, you'll find that most accountants actually they'll have in their staff people that can do the bookkeeping for the QuickBooks Zero and Sage, and that's what we have at J&D. We have the staff and the team that can do that. So we are here for people if they need the help to do that.
Okay.
But what we will be finding is that people will be taking over. They will be. And they are cost effective. You can pick up some of these packages for as little as £10 a month. So it doesn't need to be a huge cost burden. But like anything else, sometimes the more you pay, the better results you get and the better information you get.
And I was just thinking again from what you were saying earlier, John, from being a little bit more proactive, sitting down with somebody like yourself and looking at the figures, and rather than just submitting the accounts at the end of the year and going, well, that's what your year was.
Yeah.
You're sat down on a regular basis looking at things and going, so what can we do there? What are we going in the right direction? So although it may seem a cost burden, it could actually be a very great incentive tool to make you more efficient and more profitable.
Definitely. And that's why when we have bookkeeping clients already who are benefiting from those services that we offer, and I think people will have to get past the fact of the extra cost and realise the clients want to know they are required, they want to know their profit position. These days, mortgage applications for loans, you need to have access to your profitability at the touch of a button. And so it's going to, hopefully, people will see, yes, this is a benefit, not a burden.
Right. So tell me again when it's coming in, John, again.
April 2019. Not long to go.
No. So people need to be, preparing now.
People do need to not stick their head in the sand. And we are trying to advise our clients now, as we're into a new tax year now, April 2018. If you can get started now in April 2018 and have a year under your belt with a new system, it will make the transition so much easier in April 2019.
Okay, and just what happens after that then?
Currently, I must just actually say, one of the benefits that HMRC have done by changing the way that they're doing things is that actually at the moment they're doing a pilot scheme. So as from April 2018, lots of small businesses have been invited to join a pilot scheme so they can sort out the errors before 2019 comes in, which is really good news, and hopefully we will get a lot of the errors sorted out by 2019. And if they do, after that, they've said that they will then start to revisit individual people, landlords, and also companies for corporation tax. But what they have promised is that they will not do anything until 2020 at the earliest.
Right, okay. So it seems a long way off, guys.
Yeah.
But we have the habit of things creeping up on us at a rapid rate of knots, and it's an awful feeling when you get there and you go, my word, I've just let that go a little bit too far. Yeah. So if somebody wants any help on some information, they want to meet with you, how can they get in touch?
They can have a look at our website and Google us, J&D Accountants, or our telephone number 01723 336 308, or come and visit us in sunny Scarborough at our office. We'd make a call in, make an appointment, and we'd love to chat through people's businesses.
And do they just have to be in Scarborough, John, or can you work with people wider afield?
No, we actually work wider afield. We have clients along the Yorkshire coast in Whitby, Bridlington, Filey, but we also have clients all over the country. It's amazing what email and postal packages you can get these days. So we have clients all over the country, Manchester, London, all over the country. Distance is no problem these days.
Okay, so just give us those contact details again.
Our website, J&D Accountants, or our telephone number is 01723 336 308.
John, thanks for joining us on the Business Hour today in this wonderful Friday in sunny Scarborough. It's a pity that we've got to go back to work, I guess.
Thanks for coming, Steve.
It's a pleasure. This is the Business Hour in partnership with Network B2B.
Like to share news about your business, event, seminar or workshop? Simply email steve@stevetwynham.com.